Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you my top tips on how to keep your home lovely and clean and disinfected from any germs and bacteria, or as much as we can do. So my little boy George, he is almost 2 and he has been feeling really under the weather recently, and he's just had a little bit of a sickness bug. So the reason that I'm filming this video today is just to share with you the ways that you can keep your home clean when someone in your home is sick. Obviously everything that's going on in the world as well at the moment, I feel like we all just need to be extra cautious and careful and keeping our home nice and clean as much as we can. And then as well as everything that's going on, it is also cold and flu season, and you can carry the virus and bring in the virus without showing any symptoms and then pass it on to someone else. So I feel like it's just really good to be extra cautious and clean, to keep your home nice and clean and disinfected from any germs and bacteria. So if you're new here, I'm a mum of one to a little boy called George. He is almost 2, like I said. And I post YouTube videos. I post YouTube videos 3 times a week on motherhood, lifestyle content. I love to do cleaning videos, and I do post the odd vlog here and there, which I really enjoy filming. So if you like those kind of videos and you like today's video, I'd love it if you could subscribe and join our little family that we have here. It's free to do and I would really appreciate it. And the people that are already watching my videos and subscribed, thank you so much for clicking on today's video again. I really appreciate all your support. And yeah, let's get into today's video. So the first thing then that I do, and I also encourage other people to do when they come into my home, is take any coats, jumpers and jackets off as soon as you enter the house and leave them by the front door on our coat hook. I then also take off my shoes and I put them on our shoe rack as well, which is in our hallway. It's so important to take off anything that you've had on outside and bringing into the home, because you don't want to be bringing in all those germs and bacteria and viruses that could potentially be on your clothes and drag it through the house even more. If you just leave everything by the front door, then it's less likely that you're going to drag things through the house. Obviously there's still that chance because bacteria can travel, but you are doing everything you can to keep it at bay if you keep everything in one place by the front door. So like I said, we have this really lovely coat rack that we can fit so many coats on, and umbrellas and hats and things like that. So that is what I keep on there. And then I also try and hang my bags and things on it as well. And then with shoes, I then have a really lovely shoe rack which is under our stairs, which we keep all of our shoes on, and it just keeps everything in one place. The next thing is something that everyone has to be doing at the moment, and it's just what everyone is talking about, and that is hand washing. I am one that likes to wash my hands quite a lot anyway. As I always mention in my vlogs, seems to be I work in the hospitality industry, and when you're working with food and the public and things, you need to be constantly washing your hands. So it is so important as well during this cold and flu season, and when anyone else is sick in the home, that you are constantly on top of washing your hands. It's really important that you buy an antibacterial soap, because that does get rid of most bacteria and viruses. The one that I'm using here does get rid of up to 99.9% of bacteria and viruses on the hands. They recommend that you wash your hands with really hot soapy water for around 20 seconds and just really as many times as you can throughout the day. I do like to wash my hands as soon as I get in from being outside, and then just maintaining the hand wash throughout the day. So my next tip is to go around and clean all of your hotspots. Now hotspots are what I call things that everyone touches. So that's from door handles to the staircase and pretty much everything you can think of that anyone can touch. So there are 2 things that I use for cleaning my hotspots, and that is disinfectant and bleach. So you can get so many different types of disinfectant, but the one that I absolutely love is Saflora. So I just use the Saflora Mandarin and Lime, and this kills 99.9% of bacteria and can also kill viruses as well. So it can kill E. coli, MRSA, Salmonella, Listeria, influenza, and it can also help with killing respiratory and rotavirus viruses. So it's really good, can be used on so many different types of surfaces, can be used on floors, tiles, workshops, sinks, toilets, your baths, taps, drains, and then again, like I say, all of your hotspots as well. And then also I use a flash bleach. I normally use this just for the bathroom and sometimes in the kitchen as well, but I tend to use this for my toilet and my sink, and then I use the Sephora for all the hotspots. So the way you can use Sephora is you can put it neat into your toilet bowl, into sinks and things. You need to be really careful when you're using neat disinfectants because it can stain clothes. It can also be really harmful for the skin as well. The way that I use it is I dilute my Sephora, so I use 1 capful with some water, and I have a plastic spray bottle that I just put all of the diluted Sephora in, and then I can go around the house and use the diluted Sephora on my hotspots with a cloth. So I just use a microfiber cloth. I have so many of these, and you can also wash them as well. So I can use one for each room, or one for, I don't know, I use one for the top of the toilet and then I just put it in the wash straight away. So I just go around the house and I use my Sephora. I like to clean all of my door handles. You are constantly going through into different rooms and everyone is touching these door handles, and you need to be making sure that you are cleaning them regularly. I like to make sure that I am cleaning the front door. Obviously people come in and they come out, and you've got to think about all the different places that people are touching that you need to make sure you are cleaning. Another big one is the staircase. So obviously every time everyone goes up the stairs, normally people do use the handrail, so I'm making sure that I am cleaning and disinfecting the handrail. Another one that I make sure that I disinfect are light switches. So I go around and I just clean every light switch in the house, and also plugs as well. Another one that lots of people actually do forget is your thermostat. Obviously being winter, everyone is using the heating. It's constantly going on, off, and so many people are just switching it on or off. So I like to make sure that I'm cleaning my thermostat and making sure that that is thoroughly disinfected as well. Another important one, again, that some people forget to disinfect are remote controls. So I have 2 remote controls for my TV, and if George hasn't got them in his mouth or throwing them around or they're under the sofa, we're obviously using them to change the channel. So I'm making sure constantly throughout the day that I'm disinfecting these. And then also we have a PlayStation that we use for Netflix and things as well, and that my partner plays games on. So we are making sure always that we are disinfecting the games consoles as well. So the next thing I want to talk about then are the things that George uses in the house. So him being young, he is more prone to catching infections and viruses and colds and things. So I need to make sure that I'm constantly cleaning his equipment and his toys and things. It's so hard. Kids have so many toys, so it's going to be really difficult for you to actually disinfect all the toys. But I try and make sure that I disinfect the ones that I know he plays with. So George is going through a stage where he just wants to play with certain toys, so it makes it a bit easier for me in cleaning those. So the first thing I do then is I like to clean his high chair really thoroughly. He uses this 3+ times a day. So I'm making sure that I'm cleaning this. I'm taking the tray off and actually really getting into all the cracks and things to make sure I'm getting rid of any viruses that might be attached to the high chair. I then also, at the end of the day, I like to take the cloth part out of the high chair, and I'll put that in with my hot wash in the evening. When he's not using his high chair, he is using his table and chairs, and whether that's for eating, whether it's for colouring, or he likes to sit on it as well, which isn't probably the safest thing, but he does that as well. And I need to make sure that I'm disinfecting the tables, the chairs, and not just the top of the tables. Make sure you get right underneath the tables where their hands could be, and also with the chairs as well. We have multiple stair gates in our house. We have one going into the kitchen, we have one at the top of the stairs, and we also have one on his bedroom. So when I'm just doing my normal clean, I do clean the top of the stair gates and obviously the clip, but because George is small, he is obviously going to be touching the bottom part of the stair gate, so I'm making sure that I'm constantly disinfecting the entire stair gate, so from the bottom of the poles all the way up to the clip and the top of the stair gate, and I do that for all 3 stair gates. Another thing that I like to disinfect is his cot. So obviously he spends a good 12 hours a night, most of the time, in his cot when he is sleeping at night time, and in the mornings he isn't always a crier. He does sometimes just tend to stand in his cot, and he went through a bit of a stage of chewing the cot side, so I like to make sure that I'm disinfecting the entire cot as well. Obviously with him breathing and everything in the evening, and you're just being in that one space in the cot, it's really important to be disinfecting areas that he is in for a long time. The next place that I like to disinfect thoroughly is the bathroom, and I try and do this throughout the day, and then also one big disinfect in the evening, especially if someone is ill. Obviously if people are ill, a lot of germs do tend to be in the toilet, so I am bleaching the toilet every time someone uses it, and I encourage other people when they use the toilet to put some bleach around and then just rinse the bowl out. I then like to go in with my, oh, they've fallen over, I didn't even notice, my bleach disinfectant, which then I use on the toilet bowl, and I use just a J cloth, which is just disposable cleaning cloths, and I use that for the toilet, and then once I've cleaned and bleached the toilet I can just chuck that cloth away. I don't really want to be washing cloths that I've been using for the actual toilet bowl, so that's really important, just not to sort of cross-contaminate things. I do use one of the microfiber cloths to clean the chain. I'm just using it to clean the top bit because obviously people are using their fingers to flush the chain. And then moving on to the sink, because people are using the sink to wash their hands every time they use the toilet, making sure that your taps are disinfected, and also making sure you're cleaning the actual soap dispenser, the handle of the soap dispenser, your anything that you're touching basically all the time. So the mouthwash bottle I'm disinfecting. I'm disinfecting the toothbrush holder. I also do like to boil our toothbrushes as well in some hot water. I feel like this just kills any bacteria. Some people I think do use a little bit of bleach, which I don't really feel comfortable using. I don't think I would know what sort of measurements to use, so I just use boiling water. And then also another thing that I do like to put in boiling water are George's bottles. So I just use any of George's bottles that he's had throughout the day, his drinking bottles, and I also use his Calpol syringe as well if you've been using that. Obviously if he's poorly, I like to put that in some boiling water because it does make it sterile and disinfect all the germs as well. I think it's also really important to be bleaching your floors. Obviously most people do have carpet throughout their house, but the places where I do actually have hard floor, I do bleach multiple times a day, normally once when I wake up and once before I go to bed as well. And if need be, if someone is particularly ill or if it gets dirty, I will do it throughout the day as well. But the only two places we have hard floor are our kitchen and our bathroom, so I do try and bleach my floors quite a lot throughout the day. So then the last thing that I want to talk to you about, and another tip that I use, is making sure that you are washing anything that comes into contact with the person that is sick, and then also anyone else that could then be. It's just good to keep things washed on a hot wash. So I like to make sure that we are stripping the beds, pillowcases, sheets, duvet, and then also your children's duvets and things as well, and his sheets and things. And then any pajamas that anyone has washed and any clothes, they all go into the wash. I also like to put in any hand towels from the bathroom, and then also the bath mats as well, because it can pick up so much bacteria from being in the bathroom. I then like to put all my microfiber cloths in the evening as well that I have been using. So I would chuck this into the washing machine with a non-bio tab, because my son has quite sensitive skin, so I just like to make sure that he's not going to be, his skin's going to be irritated at all by using the wrong stuff. So I chuck that all into the wash with a tab, some softener, and I put it up to the highest temperature that it can be. On this particular wash it is 60 degrees, so bacteria can actually survive in your washing machine on a cold wash and also on warm washes as well. So just whack that temperature up to as hot as it can go, just to kill any viruses and bacteria. So that is all of my tips on how to keep your home clean and disinfected, especially if someone is ill. If you liked today's video, please give it a big thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you. And like I say, I post motherhood and lifestyle content, and I love to post cleaning videos as well. So if you like this kind of video, like I said, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Thank you. Bye.
My heart just can't ignore that I've never felt before. And if you go, I wanna go there with you.